push-ups.
What's going on, everybody? We're gonna do a quick stock market brief show, and I figured if you guys want to watch the Wii robot thing, let's do it together. I'm gonna crack a beer, hang out with everybody. If you guys have questions about various market stuff, you can bring that up too as well. We're gonna be getting right into it here. Welcome. What's going on, MD1, Doppler, Subtech Booze. All right, so let's take a quick look at the markets here. We have, I have some stuff that I want to go over because I didn't do a stock market brief show today. I wanted to do it live. What I want to go over really quick is some daily charts for the SpyQ, IWM, go over some gamma levels. We'll go over various trends on the shorter time frame, earnings, expected moves, and then some of the concerns still around volatility. So we'll go ahead and take a look first at the gamma levels. So the big level to watch for as of right now is going to be that 5,800. You can see price has been really holding that as a main level of resistance here. Okay. And then below us is going to be that 57.75. So this is the zone. This is kind of the range that the S&P 500 is trading in. Underneath it, it could get dicey. Above it, it can get very dicey. Now, the reason why I wanted to stream the Wii robot thing more specifically here today is because I found this to be pretty interesting. The expected move is almost $16 and the implied vol is 177%, which is like almost like it's going through an earnings event. So the market's saying like, hey, this could be a big, big event. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that plays out. If it's, if the market likes what it sees, if it doesn't like what it sees, etc. So we are in positive gamma territory. You can see the gamma flip line right over here. It's at 57.25. So this is where dealers look to buy the dip and sell the rip. This is typically where volatility comes in. And that's what's so interesting is because if we take a look at the expected move going into tomorrow, the daily expected move going in for tomorrow is, let me see here, $3.59. It's actually yet less than yesterday's and then less than the day prior. We do have PPI data coming out, but volatility of the expected move came in, but the VIX, the volatility index, so if we pull up VIX futures right now, VIX futures, right, these were elevated today. And if you take a look at the VIX was elevated today too here as well. And it's still roughly at about 21%, which gives us an implied move of about a daily implied move of about 1.32%, which would mean that we can still see a potential move that's quite large coming into tomorrow's trading session. We really didn't move much on the week. We're slightly up on the week. We're above a rising 5-day moving average, above the quarter-to-day anchored volume weighted average price, above the week-to-day anchored volume weighted average price. So if the market likes what it sees going into this event, and then likes what it sees for earnings and PPI and so forth, I mean, we can come right up to this weekly expected move. I don't know what just happened to it there. I just deleted it. I don't know how to bring that back. But that would be roughly around 50, 582.50. So that would be the upper zone for tomorrow if you were looking to be a buyer. And then down here would be the local area of support to pay attention to. I want to bring up some other charts here. We got about 7 minutes till the event. So I want to bring up the trend changer and just give you a good snapshot of the various trends that the market is in. So we'll take a look at the SPY over here. We got the Qs and the IWM, the Dow Jones, biotech, semiconductors. Semiconductors has been the leader here. It's above its rising 5-day moving average still. SPY still above its rising 5-day moving average. Qs, same situation. It's IWM and biotech that have been kind of the laggers here. Even DIA, it's above its rising 5-day moving average here. It's kind of flagging out as well. Okay, so small caps is not really showing any strength here. It's been a very difficult and choppy one to trade. Although if we do pull up the IWM on the daily time frame, you can see it's still kind of within this flag pattern. It could be potentially shaking us out a little bit here before potentially trying to make some sort of a move or a catch-up play. I think that that's a possibility. You'd also want to keep a close eye on biotech there as well for it to reclaim that 5-day moving average. I want to go ahead and pull up the daily. Let me see here if I can pull this one up. So you can see over here, IWM on the daily time frame. I'd still be looking for it to try to clear and reclaim this anchored volume weighted average price from this up prior swing high over here if you're looking at IWM. And you could see that the swing high anchor volume weighted average price from here is also holding this as resistance. So we really kind of have a long way to go, about 220 to really start to show some strength for a potential pop there. Let's take a look at the SPY on the daily time frame. You can see that wide open expected move is still there, and that'd be the third week if we don't tag 3 weeks in a row, which the last time that happened was April of last year. So it's a pretty rare occurrence to not tag one of these expected moves. So if it doesn't happen this week, I'd be definitely watching for it again the following week. Right now we have about an 80% probability of tagging the expected moves so far this year. Okay, there's SPY, and then we have the Qs have been doing really good. It's been kind of like a one-stock market, right? If you go into the Market Watch tab and we look at the heat map, you see a lot of red on the screen, but NVIDIA has been a name that's really been kind of standing out. So if I pull up NVIDIA, you can see here, it broke out of this compression pattern originally over here. Boom, we pulled back into a rising 20-day, and bam, we started running for the races outside of this larger compression pattern. So if we want to keep this kind of momentum going, I'd be looking at a retest of this prior swing high. If it comes back in even a little bit, I mean, that would still be pulling back in an uptrend overall. So NVIDIA's been a big player so far. Okay, and then if I look at the Qs, you can see that we did break out of this compression pattern. The main measured move target for this would be up near and around 550 for the Qs. And then I would be just watching this prior swing low as that level of prior support, right? You get these higher lows building. The market's clearly in an uptrend. So if we start seeing lower highs and lower lows, that would not be as good of a sign clearly. Okay. So we went over some expected moves. I wanted to get into the banks now. We have about 4 minutes left until the watch party, and then I'm going to crack open a beer. I'm just going to chill and drink, and you can ask questions, do whatever you want. Let's bring up the... okay, so actually before I do that, I wanted to really quickly... So I touched on vol. Crude oil also is just another one of these assets that's been kind of rising pretty strongly. We'll see if this backs off, but the interesting part of all of this here is looking at the expected moves versus volatility, and then some of these intermarket assets such as oil, but also the dollar, right? If we look at the dollar, let me bring up the dollar here. If we bring up the dollar's been on just an absolute tear here, and it's trying to catch a little bit of a move here too. So to see this breathe a little bit, this would be my thought is if we can see the 10-year yield back off a little bit, and it also, so this is the 10-year yield, just been on a monster rip. And it's like the market's like unfazed by this. But typically they have negative correlations. So is that negative correlation going to come back if these start to take a break and a breather? And is that going to just like be ready for that? Because if the market really is going to get going, perhaps that could be the trigger for it. But there seems to be just kind of some complacency with this stronger move in dollar and this stronger move in yields. Okay, so we do have some of these banks reporting. The ones that I wanted to go over are the expected moves here. So BLK, you can write these down if you'd like, but BLK, which is BlackRock, its expected move upper level is about 974. I'm just going to round up to 975. And then the lower is 936 and 50 cents. I'm rounding right here. Okay, that's BlackRock. We have Bank of New York Mellon. This one, expected move is roughly up to and around 78, down to and around 71. So this is what the market's pricing in as far as risk going into tomorrow's earnings report. Then Wells Fargo is going to be one of the bigger names here, about $60 to the upside and or 55.50 to the downside. This is just one standard deviation, right? One standard deviation with the market's pricing in. We can do more than that, but we'll see what the market is pretty efficient for the most part. Okay, JP Morgan, this is another one of the big ones that we're going to have to watch here, but we have about 220 to the upside and to the downside is 206.50. So those are the banks that will be reporting. Like I said, we have PPI tomorrow, we have banks reporting, and then we have this little tiny daily expected move for SPY, albeit while the VIX is pricing in about a one standard deviation of 1% plus or minus 1.32% of a move. All right. Well, what's up, EJ? How you doing? Let's go ahead now and hop over to the event because that's going to be starting here. I'm trying to see if we can refresh it. I think it's going to be just a live broadcast here on X. And then we'll get going. So while this is loading up, if you guys want me to pull up any individual charts, I can do so. Just drop those in the comments and I'll do it. But I'm going to go ahead and open a beer. The beer that I'm drinking is one from Moxa Brewing. It's called Pastry Mode. It's Pastry Mode. It's an imperial stout. Vanilla beans, coconut, hazelnut, coffee taste. We'll see. How's everyone's night going so far? Pretty good, pretty good. All right, it's 7. Now let's see, how do I get this broadcast up and running? Starting at. Yeah, we can pull up Google. We'll pull up some of the bigger names here. You know, Boeing. Pull up Boeing. The dog. Glue, 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 glue. Glue, glue, glue. Wonderful. Oh, that's strong. Okay, yeah, we'll pull up some of these names. So we had mentioned Boeing was one of the names that you want me to pull up. I can pull up Boeing. Boeing has been getting clipped here in recent days. There's some more news about it. It does have earnings around the corner here. It's been kind of just in this down channel, this shorter, well, it's been in a longer term downtrend, but I'm going to activate this drawing. You can see that it's kind of pulling to the lower end of this more shorter term channel right here. So I think, so I made a video basically saying that this is one of the most hated stocks. I think on this day right there, and then we kind of went down a little bit. We went up, we came back down. It's really just kind of, you know, something to wait and watch. I'd be watching the 5-day moving average, see if we can reclaim it. It started looking good, but then there's more news of a drop, right? And then it came back down. So I would imagine we can see some relief here in the near future, but I would just prefer to see the strength before anything. And, you know, if we go back to the prior years, if I discussed on Boeing on the other video, you can typically see airlines perform quite good in the fourth quarter towards the back end of the year, October, November, December. And you can look at something like Jets, which is an ETF for airlines. And this one looks like it's getting ready to try to break out here too. So if you're not looking for like the individual name, you may be able to look at something like this. But Boeing does have earnings, so it'd be interesting to see how that one plays out. For potentially a Q4 play to see if this one all of a sudden gets a little love and sees a little bounce like it did the prior year. But like I said, I wouldn't put too much, like don't go too big on positions with something that's such a bad trend, but maybe keep a close eye on this specific industry. Okay, that was BA. We have Google. Yeah, the broadcast still isn't going yet, so. Well, now it says retry. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right, so the Tesla event's starting. It hasn't started fully yet. That's what you hear in the background. It's right here. We'll get it going here in a moment. Okay, so yeah, that was going. Let's go look Google. Google looks like it could be setting up like a larger kind of bottoming pattern here. It's still above its rising 200-day. The 50-day is still declining, but you can see the possibility of this being some sort of inverse head and shoulders. It would just have to wait for that 170 neckline. But if you wanted to enter in early, maybe wait to see if this 5-day moving average starts to flatten out and turn back up again to be a little bit more tactical and get on the right side of trend. Which could, I mean, that could happen as soon as tomorrow for all we know. Take a look at SoFi. Yeah, SoFi is looking pretty good here on the weekly time frame. It's like starting to get back above some of these key averages, break out of a larger pattern here. But I would just be, and you can see these little, sharp pullbacks. So it's moving good. We do have earnings around the corner. I wouldn't be initiating a new position into earnings. It's just not my style. I just prefer to wait. But it's also about that rising 5 days. So if we can get a little bit of a consolidation, pull back, and then maybe even if I were to, like, this is how I'd kind of approach it. If I waited to earnings and earnings had a big boom, boom, big move, what I like to do is I like to wait to see if we get the follow through and then consolidation and then play the follow through after that point. See when they're going to start their event. It's getting ready. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here we go. Or is this just a new song? You want to take a look at Netflix? You're at work right now, Trader Joe? Netflix has a new high on the year. That's not a bearish sign. It's not bearish. But you do have earnings right around the corner, so just be aware of earnings. It's 10, when is it? 10/17 or something like that? When is earnings? 10/17. So you're looking at roughly a $60 expected move. That could very well change as we get closer to going up. I don't think it's going to come down. So yeah, it's looking good. I mean, it looks good, but we have earnings, and that's who knows what's earnings is gonna bring. But overall, it's good looking. Do I have a position in Tesla? No, I don't got no position in. I don't think I have a position in Tesla. If I do still, it's incredibly small because I don't notice it in my portfolio. I don't think I do. But it is setting back up. It is setting back up. Tesla, you can see. We broke out, we're pulling back in, and then like I said, this event is gonna bring in roughly about $16 worth of volatility. This is the Tesla stock. Oh wait, I forgot. What am I thinking, guys? Gals? What am I thinking? Here we go. Let's do this right. I mean, sheesh. Roughly a $16 expected move for Tesla. So tomorrow, I mean, we can be, this is just a 1 standard deviation move. All right, we can be, let me duplicate this. We can be back up here, which would be that would be a big move. That's almost a 7% move. We're probably looking at plus or minus 7% tomorrow if the market, basically what this means is there's a 68% probability we close within that area of risk, but there's also high probabilities that we tag those moves. So let me draw this out this way so we can get a good so this is the expected range for Tesla's risk tomorrow. 1 standard deviation. 68% of the time it'll finish here. It's very likely to tag one of these probably tomorrow. So even if we pull back down here, it's like still, we're still seeing higher lows. Doesn't look horrible. And then you might be able to look at this and say, hey, it's like a larger kind of cupping pattern, and you know, sorry, horrible drawing. Larger cupping pattern. It could be a flop. Yeah, for sure. It might be. Who knows? My expectations are very minimal. I did just get a Tesla. Well, my wife basically got the Tesla. I'm still driving my Ford Fusion. A Ford Fuge. It's a hybrid, you know. But we like it. The full self-driving, if anybody has never tried it, it's a trip. It's really cool. You just gotta like, I mean, it doesn't let you not pay attention. You gotta pay attention regardless, or it like kicks you off of it basically. But it is pretty rad. I went to a concert last night, and it drove me from the parking lot all the way to my home, which was like a 35, 40-minute drive. It was pretty cool. I had to like, sometimes like you have to speed up, like, so you have to like, you know, and then you have to keep your hands on the wheel, obviously. So, but still, like, I didn't do anything other than just pay attention. Got a Nissan Hybrid. Yeah, they're great cars, man. My little Ford Fuge Hybrid is, going strong. Yep. All right. What other names do we have that I can pull up here? I mean, there's a lot of different names that are setting up. Anybody wants to take a look like Shake Shack? Shake Shack's been setting up right over here, getting some higher lows. Just hit a new high today with some big volume. Earnings around the corner. But man, this is looking good. Get a little shake. Get a little shack. Get a little shakety shackety. What's up, AA? Just saw your message there. It'd be cool if they started on time. Hey, what's up, Rob? Oh, CELH. Yeah, I can look at that one. AMD. Okay, cool. VKTX. Okay, now we're getting some names in here. Oh, you guys are awake. Sweet. Rob W. What's up, man? You are been the most positive person, probably one of the most positive persons on my YouTube comments for like years. It feels like. That's what's up, man. And thanks, man. I appreciate that. All right, let's take a look here. CELH, yeah, that was getting a little bit of a bid here. Looking pretty good. A lot of volume that came in here. Means we got a pumper behind it. The name has been just a complete dog, but yeah, it's getting some relief and bounce in here. We had a nice little reversal over here just recently. You can see these are known as Morning Star reversals, where you get like this flush down, then your smaller, body, then you get a nice big move like this. It's a pretty bullish sign right there that you can have some temporary relief or reversal. And you see, we saw that here, a nice big move up. And if we zoom back, let me see if I can get some more data on here. We'll go 2 years. You can see we're coming right back up to the prior area where we gapped through and we had prior resistance. So it's coming into a declining 50-day moving average. It's up a little bit in the after hour session. Maybe watch to see how it consolidates. Yeah, this thing could probably get going a little bit. You just got these type of moves. you got to be pretty aggressive on them. You get in, you update your stops, and then you are pretty good to take some profits. But yeah, that's what happens. I mean, you have a name that fell 70+%, and then like goes up 14%. It's like, oh my God, that's life changing. It's like, you know, that meme that's like a guy that points, oh, I was right. I've played so many bounces in this dang little thing, but then I just ended up giving it up because I was tired of like small little gain here, small little gain there, break even, small little loss, break even. Now, if CELH is a double bottom, like you can potentially call this a little double bottom. You get a little undercut there. This could be a neckline. You can actually move this up. So just a measured move of this would be 26%. Crazy. These high beta names, just so you know, just be careful with high beta names. You go too big on a position and like you just get blown to smithereens if you're wrong. You do great if you're right, but the problem is if you're right, you're going to probably try to do it again, the same type of style, same type of position size, and you're going to keep doing it until you're wrong. And the time that you are wrong, it's bad, especially if you keep on leveling up those position sizes. But a measured move of a double bottom after that neckline would be up to around $44, which would be one hell of a move. Still, that's like 26+%. Are we getting into the event yet? All right, let's go AMD. Can move quicker. Hold on. Sweet, dude. Now it makes it look like I was driving through the city. Okay. AMD. Now I'm blocking my view. Yeah, I don't see the trade setup yet here on AMD. I saw it more back in this area. And I think I also saw it kind of over here on this little pullback. But, you know, we're floating around an inclining 200 days still. You can see it actually acted as resistance over here and then support. Now we're kind of back at that as the 20 days sloping up, the 50 days trying to recoup up here too. So, I would just be a little bit more patient on this one and see how it kind of puts in a potential another higher low and then breaks through this. I would like to see it come in like, okay, so if I'm looking at the 5-day moving average here, it's starting to turn yellow, which means that it's still calculating up. The price is below it. So if it comes in and starts getting rejected and coming in, I'd be just waiting for this 5-day moving average to turn back up again. And on the daily time frame, I would prefer to see it kind of tighten up here and offer up just a little bit better risk for potential pop that's much more significant. I definitely am not interested in shorting semiconductors. I'm not really interested in shorting pretty much anything at the moment. I'd prefer just being more in cash when I'm uncertain, and that's about it, you know. VKTX. Yeah, I don't know too much about like how therapeutics and stuff change, but this thing looks like it's gearing up for a move. That's for sure. Like you can see this just getting very tight here. Be watching around the $70 range, just kind of getting hung up at. You see the higher lows building to it. It's getting a little, like, you know, you get shakeouts, fakeouts, but man, if this thing holds, it starts building up to the 70 area, who knows? Like that could be a huge move, because you could also look at this like, kind of like this. Actually, just a larger kind of compression pattern overall. Go to the 5-day moving average, it's below it right now. So I'd prefer to see this, you know, eventually get back through it and so forth. It's been choppy. It's one heck of a choppy name. I've looked at this many different times, but maybe perhaps it's building a larger base before something really good actually comes from it. But yeah, definitely should have this one on the radar, even alert it right at around the 70 bucks, because you want to know if price starts getting back up there again. Maybe even lower, to be honest. Maybe up, maybe right around 65 or even slightly below that. I feel like it can be at 65 tomorrow, basically. Like, it's such a volatile name. So you can see this prior area of resistance or prior area of support that held. Just trying to, what I do here is I'm waiting. Is this really not on? It's 7:18 right now. How have they not started? Am I missing something? It's crazy. So yeah, it's choppy, but you know, it is holding an interesting level, how it has support here prior, but then you have this prior area as kind of a supply. So it's in this very tight range over here. What's Bitcoin doing? Nothing. Okay. Got ZM. What do I think about FNGG? What is that? It's like FANG stocks. Yeah, I'm actually bullish tech, right? This looks good, right? You see these, I mean, this is a 2x fund. So what's like, no, it's not MAGS. What is it? Is it just FANG? No, it's not FANG. I mean, it's, you know, like I'm bullish Qs, right? I've seen these higher lows build right here. I'm bullish Qs. I won't be when we start getting into negative gamma territory and we're below a declining 5-day moving average. And who knows when that's going to change? It can change tomorrow. It can change in a month from now. I don't really know. But yeah, like tech stocks, I'm bullish in. Like, it's just what it is. Just given the context of what's going on in the market. The FNGG thing is you got to be right on the screws basically when it comes to that stuff, because if you hold it for too long, you have to just look into the product and kind of how it works. I'm unfamiliar with that one specifically, but you know, you want to be on the right side of trend with those so it really works in your favor, these leveraged funds. Is the event on right now? Is something like, I don't think it is, right? No, because it says there's 1.2 million views we're going on right now with this thing. Just waiting and watching. 21 minutes late. It's kind of like the, what was that? The kitty, what was that guy? Oh my gosh. Roaring Kitty. He was hella late. And the news people were all like butthurt about it. And then he just shows up like this. It was hilarious. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I'm bullish, that kind of stuff. I was asking about SYM. What is it? SYM again? Symbiotic. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, inverse head and shoulders over here. And I mean, I wouldn't chase this move specifically. It was up 18% today. Like, I don't like to chase. I like to look for the consolidations. So basically, I just look at this and say, hey, I missed it. But right over here, I mean, if this was on the radar earlier, I'd be like, oh yeah, just buy right out of this pivot. I did start a new position today dang, dude. This beer is strong. Having a hard time thinking. I posted it in the trade ideas. Flut. FLUT. That's what I traded today. Bought FLUT. Woohoo! So I bought FLUT today. I don't know exactly where I got it. I think it was like between this high and this level, kind of right within here, that it filled for the day. So it's up a little bit. And my thought is that, you know, it's in a very bullish trend. 20 days sloping up, 50 day, 200 day, everything's sloping up. You have a good volume day to day. And we're breaking out of this little tiny little contraction. And I was hoping to see it expand. It did. We'll see if that follows through or not. And if I get stopped out here, I think I actually broke up my stop loss. I broke it up to have 50% here and 50% under this swing low. And I'm probably going to be changing that actually come tomorrow, just to probably the low of today's trading session. And the goal was just to see if it could come back up to this swing high. Probably take a little profits off, see what it looks like then if it does get up there. And then go from there. It should be a nice little move. It'd be about a 5% move. EXP was one that I took the other day. Down a little bit today, but I played it in this flag pattern. Then we had a nice little pop out. But you have a nice big kind of base that built, and we broke out. We consolidated very tight, and we started to see a little bit of a breakout. So my stop's hiding out right over here. And then if it comes and stops me out, it is what it is. And then if it resets back up, I'll probably look to re-enter it if it can hold this bullish trend. Blue, we're waiting for the Elon event. Like, I thought it was gonna be like on point, like right now, basically. So I was like streamed for like an hour, but like I don't know what's going on right now. Or are you just saying, what's happening, y'all? Or like, dude, what's going on? Okay, we'll look at a couple other names here while we're chilling. You're welcome, Tapan. Or Tapan. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Nat Gas. You know, Nat Gas is looking pretty good. I'm actually kind of interested in Nat Gas. Probably more so like, okay, I'll pull up UNG. Fortnite. Dude, I should be just playing some Fortnite right now, to be honest. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, so Nat Gas, look, so we hit this little double bottom. It was actually a double bottom. Boom, we hit the measured move up to the 200 day. We're pulling back here. Pretty decent outside reversal day. Now, understand, they call Nat Gas the Widowmaker because it's dang near impossible to trade and people get torn to shreds of just how volatile it is. Okay? But, I mean, it looks like it's shaping up. It really does. Right? Yeah, this little bottom, it came out, it's pulling back. What's crazy is even if you play it right from here, just back up to this high, that's 10%. And then you can have a stop maybe under this little low over here to this day, you know, just a move to the low of today's trading session is minus 3%, 3.5%. It's wild. You do not need to have a lot of capital to trade this. It is so volatile. You got to be so careful playing Nat Gas. But what I am saying is you can see that we're trying to find some sort of bottom here. At least it feels that way and looks that way. You just got to manage the risk as you see fit. Hey, Scott, appreciate that. Alonzo, I did take a look at Celsius. Nice little move there. You can look at DJT. DJT is Trump Media. Oh, this social app. Oh my gosh, look at all the volume coming in here. So when it comes to this stuff, like it'd be a more aggressive type trade, and if the volume's there intraday, maybe I might set up for a day trade, you know. But the daily chart itself it's just too hard to trade that. Like what am I going to enter right here, and then like if it comes all the way back down here, and then maybe comes back up further, or it went already on a monster run. I do not chase large moves. I mean, we're talking like from 11 to 24. That's 103%. This little move here. All right. It's well above the rising five-day moving average. If I look at the 5-day moving average, it moves, boom, or sorry, the intraday time frame, it moves so quick and so fast. So yeah, it looks like I can get some more push to it, but these aren't really the names unless that they set up very clear as day as a good setup. Like for example, like GameStop. Somebody had mentioned GameStop. GameStop looked real good. Where was it? It was right here. And I believe I even used this as a trade idea. You'd have to go back and check in my Discord. But if you go back to like, I'll just do it. Why not? I'll screenshot it. Why not? Let me see here. Trade ideas. Jeez, that's far back. I have to go back pretty far. Like to May of this year. Actually, I can probably search it. That's funny. Yeah, May 8th. So no one knows, like, no one says, oh yeah, whatever, dude, you know, whatever, bro. So this was May 8th. It was getting very, very tight, right? In a flag formation. We saw big volume come in. So there's clearly something big going on. And then volume started drying up here. All right, and it gets very, very tight. And it already made a large move, but this is what I look for. Like, I don't like to chase the big move. I like to look for this very tight price action. And if we go back to the GameStop chart, thank you, baby. If you go back to the GameStop chart, you can see right here is where it got very, very tight. And then it, obviously we all know what happened. In like 4 days, it just ripped. And this is when the, you know, roaring kitty dude came back in. Now, as far as it goes right now, I don't know why I'm talking about GameStop. Was I talking about something else? But yeah, this is actually, look at how volume, like, so we saw a big move here. It's getting very wedgy here, right? Very tight. It was up 2% today. So yeah, like if you have a stop under here and you're trying to play it back up, cool. But just know the trend is down. It's still below a declining 5-day. So perhaps if you can get back above this, you'd have a stop here or a stop here and try to play it for maybe another squeeze of some sort. Sure. That makes sense to me because you get the tight price action, right? Markets move between contraction, expansion, and contraction, and then expansion. These tight contractions is where you can back into risk. You have a clear idea as to where you can get out versus DJT, right? DJT, it's like if I get here, this is clearly an expansionary move. So I you know, if I got in right here, but then it came down just to here, I mean, that's 10% loss on the position. So I'd have to have a very small position so I'm not worried about a 10% drawdown, you know? Cosmic, asking how many years I've been trading. Probably about like 10-ish, 6. I think like more seriously, like 6, 7, like when I actually started managing a little bit, you know, more funds. But I've been doing it for probably like 15 years. Technically more, but like I'd say it wasn't all too serious. I mean, okay, I don't know, like, because like I wasn't actively trading. I was more like focused on investing and stuff and just, you know, loading my accounts. But when I started getting really more into swing trading, it took me probably about 3 years, 3.5 to like really get my groove going. I mean, a little bit more about going through things, but like to actually get significantly like moving in the right direction probably took about 3 years. It wasn't even about being right or wrong. What I mean is where I started feeling very, very, very comfortable with how I executed into the market. And like, I didn't need to sweat about it. I didn't need to worry about it. It was just kind of what I do. You know, I'm just doing it. I'm just going. I don't care. So it took a little bit. It took a while because you also got to learn your risk tolerance. You have to like go through all that. I mean, it's just a phase that every trader is going to go through. Am I doing prop firms? I'm more focused on my own personal funds. So I trade my own money personally. I don't mind doing the prop firms, but When the time's right, maybe, but I just really, really dislike operating under their rules because they're designed to make you lose. Unfortunately, that's how they're designed. So you have to get really good within their rules, their management. And some people can do that. Others can't. The majority of people cannot do that. And then when it does end up being like that, where I can actually extract money, okay, it's like not that much money to be safe, unless if I really gamble, then I can make some big funds. But the thing is, it's like, I'm just going to make consistent income from a prop firm, I'll trade larger size accounts with me personally, with my money, and I'll feel a lot more comfortable there because I can operate under my rules, if that makes sense. Like if I wanted to go make $500 from the prop firm, cool, easy. But it's like also heck of time, all of their rules, very slow, or I can just place on a trade of my own money, my own capital in an equity market or in a common stock, not futures, not option, not any of it, just regular stock. So. How are they not live yet? It is now 7:34. Can anybody report of like what's going on here? My goodness. Oh, Meet Kevin is live. Can I open his little thing in a new tab? See if he's watching it. No, we're watching the same thing. We have to be watching the same thing. 1.8 million viewers. I don't really do futures tradings. Somebody passed out? Well, that's not fun. Maybe because it was so awesome. They're like, oh, it's so cool. I don't know if I can manage. Don't eat in your Tesla. Don't eat and drink. Unless if it's a fake Tesla. Like the Cybertruck that I'm in right now. Little salmon salad. It's airy, it's fresh, it's decadent. I'm not good with vocabulary. Decadent. My bad. My volume was turned off. I'm talking to myself in my Tesla. EMPH. Yeah, it looks like it's just kind of in this trading range here. Earnings around the corner. It's below all these averages. Like it's not my type of trade setup right here. Maybe if anything, I'd be waiting to see this 5-day moving average start to flatten out and turn back up. But right now, like from here, we've seen bounces from. So if you're like managing your risk, you're like, oh, I'm going to take a shot here and then maybe it bounces. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being the case, but It's just not my type of setup here, right? Not my type of setup here. It's past my bedtime and I'm hungry. I don't blame you. It's past my bedtime and I'm hungry. I'm sitting here trying to eat. They're supposed to have an event and they're not doing it. It's great. I've been consolidating for a long time. Would I ever get a Cybertruck? Probably not. It's not really my, it's not really my style. I don't find, if I was to get a truck, I'd probably just get like a gas truck. And it probably wouldn't need to be, you know, $80,000 vehicle. I would probably just, like buy like something not that expensive. Like I like those old, like block engine trucks, like a Ford, like, I don't know exactly what they are, but like, you know, the ones that have like diesel, the ones that like can go 400,000 miles without even having an issue. But I probably wouldn't get like, I'd be too worried about a Cybertruck, you know? Good night, Taban. I might be saying the same thing here soon. They're starting shortly. Bronco. I actually like the new Broncos. Those do look cool. I don't know what those run, but. I can turn it down. So apparently there's some medical stuff going on in the Tesla event. Oh yeah, caramba. Abby's obviously saying that she's followed somebody else that bought FLUT and then seen it in the scan last week. Nice. Hopefully it was a gigantic buyer. IWM I did go over a little bit earlier. I still think that IWM could be setting up here, but I'd be waiting. I showed it from a perspective of over here. I'd be waiting for it to really get above 220, but the thing is, like where it's at right now to 220 is also a big move. So perhaps maybe go into the 5-day or the 15-minute time frame and look at the 5-day moving average and see if it can reclaim it, start getting above these levels. But that's 220 right up there. It's a tough one. It's choppy, and I want it to prove itself before just getting in there. Oh, I'll take a look at that, Bo. It does feel like Windows Media Player, their little screen thing. XLF looks good. XLF chart looks really good on the daily time frame, and also it's above that rising 5-day moving average here. But yeah, XLF is looking really good. The thing though that we talked about earlier on today's stream was the earnings are going first for financials. All right, Johnny, the kid, my son's doing really well. I think last live stream that I was here, I talked to everyone, so off topic, but I hurt my knee a while ago, like playing with him, like just standing up weird. So the other day I went to the doctors and they like gave me this gigantic shot into my kneecap. It has not helped at all. It's supposed to reduce swelling or something like that. Elon tweeted. What did the Elon say? What did Elon say? He said in less than an hour ago. Okay, he said, a person in the crowd had a medical emergency. We have taken care of them and will be starting shortly. I find that kind of crazy because, like, how it must have been a bad medical emergency to like to like not do the entire event. Like I feel like the medical teams would like go to the person if it was something, and they would like rush them to the proper facilities to do any sort of anything that they need to do. Right? At least that's what I think. Unless it was somebody that's like doing the event, like something happened and they can't like I can't start without him yet. Must have been big. I know, dude. Johnny's got my knee. Okay, so first off, I think that it was hurt prior, and I think I kind of did more damage like standing up really weird. Wolf Speed. And all these names, man, just been crushed on the year. It is kind of setting up. You can see these higher lows building. It's getting kind of tight here. So it could be for a nice little shorter term trade. But man, if you look at like the daily time frame, it's well, like, of course you can see these things bounce and all of a sudden it can go up 20% in a single day. Just like how we saw Celsius, right? But timing that and getting it right, it's a whole different story. Like look at Mobileye, right? Like Mobileye, Wolfspeed, BLY. Like Mobileye is the same thing right here, right? Mobileye fell from, it's like this, but now it's getting really tight here. Maybe see this pop, right? And that little tiny move from here to there would be 20%. Stop there, break out here, play it up to here. I mean, eventually you get some of these ones that work. Then awesome, right? Tan, that's what is that, solar stuff? Yeah, I mean, these things are getting crushed. I don't like to just jump in on the expansion to the downside. Like I prefer to see it how it sets up. Oh, we started? Yeah, this kind of does suck that they didn't do it yet, but I mean, unless they're starting right now, which it doesn't seem like, I don't think that this is starting right now. I think it's just a new song. It sucks, man. It's my bedtime. Alright, it's not really my bedtime, but it's, you know, kind of is. LRCX. Alright, we'll look up at LRCX. What'd be the LRCX? Oh yeah, this one looks familiar. This one was on, I think this one is on my tight list. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's setting up. So the 200 days still inclining to flattening out. The 20 days starting to slope up, 50 days down. So these are more of the aggressive type trades where you got to kind of get in, get out. But you are getting a nice little tight contraction here. The other day saw a nice little move. Today was an inside trading day. So yeah, we're probably going to be breaking this range here soon. Watch, careful if it breaks the low of today's trading session, and then watch it for if it breaks above the high of today's trading session. And if it does, maybe that follows through and comes up pretty nicely here. Overall, though, the larger picture is a potential double bottom, but in order to do that, you'd want to see it break the high of here, and then that would be a measured move up into here for the larger play. Right? So it's just managing risk. Like you see this kind of risk pocket here. Then if it gets up here and it does it again, boom, you have a new risk pocket to potentially play up here and so forth, and kind of just monitoring and mapping that. You do have earnings around the corner there, so got to be aware of those. I know, Jay Haas, the Tesla EM was crazy, $16 expected move, huge implied volatility. Pull that up a little bit earlier, but look at that thing from a move up to here to potentially down here is what the market was pricing in on this stuff. Trucks are the best. Haul a trailer, boat, move furniture. Oh, I agree with you on all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these dude, I'm sorry. I mean, it sucks. At least we got to get a market brief in there at the very beginning, you know, and then I wanted to just chill and relax and watch this, but you know, I even got a beer out. I thought that'd be fun. It's like tar. It's a very dark beer. So is Tesla going to be a rocket ship type of day? Is that what we're going to get out of Tesla? Or is the market going to see it and be like, yeah, no, that's not what I wanted, and going to sink to the bottom of the sea like SpongeBob? That is the question. That is the question. Are they going to unveil a new car? Not a taxi, well, maybe a taxi, but I just got a Model Y. Well, I didn't for me, but my wife. And it'd be funny if they like come out with a new Model Y today. Like, ugh. Shaq looks really good, by the way, Xander. The chart looks good. We brought that one up earlier. I don't worry about if it's too obvious or not. I try to ignore that because it is obvious, right? But what I like to do is just say basically, yeah, if it breaks out, you have a clear idea of a stop at one of these swing lows and it can work out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you're going to, plenty of times, if you do that, it's going to just like, even if it's obvious, it's going to work very well, right? And if it's really obvious, it's not going to work really well. The point of it is we can't predict where price is going to go, but we can control what our risk is going to be, how much of it we buy it, when we sell it, etc. So that's kind of where my head goes. Come on, Tesla. He straight up said it's starting in 5 minutes. Now it's all a hoax. Somebody crank up the conspiracy theories here. Post them on X. My bad. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, so Visa, sorry. I was talking about Visa. I said, oh, yeah, this looks like a good setup here. Some people might look at this as a potential bear flag, right? Boom, boom, because they got to pull down. Up, it looks like it's starting.
Or forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties. Actual results may differ materially from those projected. More details can be found
As I'm about to get off. Yeah, so Visa does look pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here, everywhere,
Turn it up.
online, around the world, outer space, I'm Franz. And on behalf of everybody at Tesla, welcome to We Robot. Just want to thank Warner Brothers for hosting us here. As you know, this is the birthplace of many epic films, many of them depicting a vision of the future. We're here tonight to experience that future that is closer than you think. And who better than Elon, right, to show us that future? So it looks like Elon's on his way, so let's welcome him here.
How's that? Loud enough?
Welcome. Welcome to the We Robot Party. So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the Robotaxi, the Cybercab, and there's 20 more where that came from.
Yo, comments are too funny.
So they've been traveling. There's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people. And we have 50 fully autonomous cars here tonight. So you'll see Model Ys and the Cybercab, all driverless. You'll be able to take a ride in the Cybercab. There's no steering wheel or pedals. So I hope this goes well. We'll find out. So you see a lot of sci-fi movies where the future is dark and dismal, where it's not a future you want to be in. So, like, I love Blade Runner, but I don't know if we want that future. I think we want that duster he's wearing, but not the bleak apocalypse. We want to have a fun, exciting future that if you could look in a crystal ball and see the future, you'd be like, yes, I wish I could be there now. That's what we want. So when we think about transport today, there's a lot of kind of pain that we take for granted that we think is normal. Like having to drive around LA in like 3 hours of traffic. Yeah, and for people that live in LA, I mean, try to get from Pasadena to, El Segundo during rush hour is like, you can fly to, another city faster than you can get to crosstown LA. So, and you have to drive the whole way.
Go figure that flying in airplanes
does
faster.
quite well at this, supervised self-driving. So supervised full self-driving is actually working quite well. I'm sure there's people in the crowd, you're using that, yeah? So we'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination. So
That's crazy. I don't know about all
but
that.
there's also a challenge for a lot of people that cars cost too much. I mean, when you factor in everything that goes into a car and the car insurance and the car payments and the storage of the car,
Cyber trains.
it's very expensive. So with and you say like how many hours a week are cars used? Your average passenger car is only used about 10 hours a week out of 168 hours. So the vast majority of the time, cars are just doing nothing. But if they're autonomous, they could be used, 5 times more, maybe 10 times more. So you could actually, for the same car, would have 5 times as much value, maybe 10 times as much value. There's 168 hours in the week, and like I said, only 10 of them are used for driving. So, and then a bunch of those hours are looking for a parking spot, which is, can be pretty annoying at times. So we want, with autonomy, you get your time back. This is a very big deal. So it's not just it'll save lives, like a lot of lives, and prevent injuries. I think we'll see autonomous cars become 10 times safer than a human. I mean, if you think of times past where there used to be an elevator operator in every elevator, but once in a while they get tired and they accidentally shear somebody in half, So now we have automated elevators. You just get in an elevator and you press a button, and you don't even think about it. And it just takes you to the floor. And if you did see an elevator operator with a big relay switch, you'd be like, that's weird. Now that's how cars will be. And it's not just the lives saved in injuries, but if you think about the cumulative time that people spend in a car and the time that they will get back, that they can now spend, well, I guess on their phones or watching a movie or doing work or whatever you want to do. You can think of the car in an autonomous world as being like just a little lounge. You're just sitting in a comfortable little lounge, and you can do whatever you want while you're in this comfortable little lounge. And when you get out, you will be at your destination. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So in fact, I think the cost of autonomous transport will be so low that you can think of it like individualized mass transit. The average cost of a bus per mile for a city, not the ticket price because that is subsidized, but the average price is about $1 a mile. Whereas the cost of cybercab, we think probably over time, from the operating cost is probably going to be around 20
More screen
cents a mile.
time. Yay!
And price, including taxes and everything else, probably ends up being 30 or 40 cents a mile. So yes, and you will be able to buy one.
Did you say you'd be able to buy a robotaxi?
Yes, exactly. And we expect the cost to be below $30,000. Yeah. And I think there'll be an interesting, business model where, like, let's say somebody is an, Uber or Lyft driver today, where they can actually sort of manage a fleet of cars, and like a sort of manage, I don't know, 10, 20 cars, and just sort of, take care of them like a shepherd tends their flock. You have your flock of cars, and you're the shepherd, and you take care of your flock of cars. I think that would be pretty cool. I think it's going to be a glorious future. It's going to be really something special.
As long as it doesn't turn out like those scooters that end up like super beat up and like on the sides of roads in cities.
We do expect actually to start fully autonomous, unsupervised FSD in Texas and California next year. And that's with the Model 3 and Model Y. And then we expect to be in production with the Cybercab, which is really highly optimized for autonomous transport in probably, well, I tend to be a little optimistic with timeframes, but in 2026. So, yeah, before 2027, let me put it that way. We'll make this vehicle in very high volume, but well before that, you will experience a robotic taxi via the Model 3 and Model Y program, and Model S and X too. But your 3 and Y will achieve unsupervised full self-driving with permission in wherever regulators essentially approve it in the U.S. and then to follow in outside the U.S. So, and Cybertruck too, yes, of course. Sorry, I don't want to forget. Yes. All our cars, basically, all cars that we make. So, let's not get nuanced here. All right, next slide. So one of the reasons why the computer can be so much better than a person is that we have millions of cars that are training on driving. So it's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see. But hopefully, yeah, exactly. So
just walking across the road.
So with that amount of training data, it's obviously going to be much better than what a human could be, because you can't live a million lives. And it's also, it can see in all directions simultaneously, and it doesn't get tired or text or any of those things. So it will naturally be, like I said, 10, 20, 30 times safer than a human, just for all those reasons. And I want to emphasize that
he's super awkward.
The solution that we have is
cool, though.
AI and vision. So there's no expensive equipment needed. So
that's funny.
The Model 3 and Model Y and S and X that we make today will be capable of full autonomy unsupervised. And that means that our cost of producing the vehicle is low. Now, we are going to actually overspec the computer for the Cybercab.
He's a robot.
So our AI5 computer will be somewhat overspec.
They've been doing software updates to Elon.
Because I think there's
becoming more and more
actually
normal.
also an opportunity, sort of like an Amazon Web Services, where if the car's driving for 50 hours a week, there's still over 100 hours left, and there's a potential there to have a massive amount of distributed inference compute, where if you've got, like, say, a fleet of 100 million vehicles and a kilowatt of efficient inference compute, you have 100 gigawatts of compute, which is really quite substantial. If it's there, you might as well use it. So, yeah, so that I think will make sense. So, all right. So our autonomous future is here. As I said, we've got 50 Teslas driving autonomously. We're trying to give you a sense of what cities will be like in the future. And when you get in, you'll see like it's really quite a wild experience to just be in a car with no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls, and it feels great. And we have enough vehicles here, so everyone should be able to try it out and experience the set that we've built here. It's a very big set, so it's like really, we've used several,
They built an entire set.
20,
That's
30
pretty
acres
crazy.
or something like that. It's really big.
Holy
so
moly.
it goes on, the ride's long. And we
Right.
set it up to feel like a ride, like a park ride. So it'll be cool, and you'll get to experience it tonight.
Hopefully it goes
Something
good.
we're also doing is, and it's really high time we did this, is inductive charging.
Whoa.
So the robotaxi has no plug. It just goes over the inductive charger and charges. So yeah, it's kind of how it should be. Thanks, guys. I love you too. So
That's pretty crazy.
one of the things that is really interesting is how will this affect the cities that we live in? And when you drive around a city, or when the car drives you around a city, you'll see there's a lot of parking lots. There's parking lots everywhere, parking garages. So what would happen if you have an autonomous world is that you can now turn parking lots into parks. And we're taking the ing lot out of parking lot.
I don't know how to pull up Tesla on
welcome.
Robinhood.
So there's a lot of opportunity
Robinhood.com.
to create.
So I gotta sign up. I have an account. I haven't been in it for like
green space in the cities that we live in.
6 months though. Oh whoa! What's this thing?
So that would be quite fantastic. Oh, and also,
That's the party bus, dude.
what
taking that
happens
to
if you need
prom.
a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y?
That's my cyber home.
The Robovan. The Robovan is. We're going to
The
make this, and it's
Robovan.
going to look like that. Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods.
Looks like a
So
little
you
train.
can configure it for goods transport within a city, or transport of up to 20 people at a time.
That'd be sick.
So this is gonna, the Robovan is what's gonna solve for high density. So if you want to take a sports team somewhere, or you're looking to really get the cost of travel down to, I don't know, 5-10 cents a mile, then you can use the Robovan. Some people call it the Robovan, but so
It'd be
yeah.
cool if it was a camper. Like you could
Yeah,
set
one
it
of
up in
things
the inside to
we
just
want to do, and
travel
we've seen this
wherever.
with
and
the
you just
Cybertruck, is we want to change the
go to
the
camp
look
spots.
of the roads. The future
The drunk
should
tank.
look like the future.
That's pretty crazy. That's wild. I can see these strolling around like Vegas. Freaking people around.
So, speaking of robots,
Oh, the Robovan. Oh, here we go. We got the robots.
so everything we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. It's the same techniques. It's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress
Bro, what is going on right now?
with Optimus.
Holy moly.
And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C3PO.
For the small cost of $75,000.
I think at scale,
Probably
this
more.
would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably
Okay.
less
Well,
than
a
a
lot
car.
less than what I thought.
Is my prediction long term. Now, it'll take us a
long
minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term.
I couldn't
So,
imagine,
and
like,
what
could you
can it
imagine,
do?
like, your kid growing
It'll
up
be
with one
able
of
to
these things and,
do
like,
anything you want. So it can
thinks as a family
be
member?
a teacher, babysit your kids.
And is
it can walk
actually
your dog,
sad when
mow
it
your
doesn't work
lawn,
anymore?
Get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2, and then they'll be
I gotta watch that movie,
products and
AI again.
services.
Wasn't it like a Will Smith movie or
predict,
something like
actually,
that?
Provided we address risks of digital superintelligence.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. It will be an age of abundance, the likes of which people have almost no one has envisioned. It'll be something special. So, now one of the things we wanted to show tonight
Oh, gosh.
was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots.
Because they might attack you.
So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar.
What? That's kind of cool. That'd be a fun experience.
And you'll directly, I mean, that's just, it's a wild experience just to have humanoid robots, and they're there, you're just in front of you. So, yeah, with that, let's party.
Let's party.
I love you guys too. If you look at that gazebo over there, let's get the party started.
Oh my gosh. We're witnessing history. Reminds me of looking back to that Microsoft video when they had Windows 95 and Bill Gates was dancing on stage. 20 years, 30 years from now, people are going to look at this and be like, dude, remember what they were doing? Hella cornball. They got dirty socks to clean the dishes. No, they don't, but they do dance. Hey, just if I was leaving town and my wife was home and I had one of these, I would literally just set this thing to go off at 3 in the morning, start dancing and play music. The robot doing the robot. that it? Wow. I think that's it. They get a party while they're there. All right, yo. I think that's all. That was fun. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Some cool stuff. Some cool stuff. The Robovan. Some might call it the Robovan, but I call it the Robovan. Pretty crazy. All right, well, I'll be, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go live tomorrow, but I'll try to go live tomorrow for the trading session. Thanks for all tuning in. I appreciate it. See you later. Hasta la pasta. Thanks, Rob. See you later, JF. See you, Rob. See you, JFK. See you, Philip, Fly, Viking Steel, Sid, Bo. Later. Appreciate you guys being here. A lot of familiar faces in here. See you, Philippines. See you, John. MM, GPT, Cypri, Journal. Everybody out there on Twitter, Twitch. Appreciate you showing up.